Hello everyone, Teacher here, welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about Haradrim and some other stuff, but this is mainly Haradrim with their flexibility because a lot of people have been reaching out to me. So if you're ready, let's take a closer look. So let's start off here everyone. Haradrim, their scores, I'm gonna show you now what they're actually at. So 900k is my chapter 1 at the moment. 1.5 is what I can score consistently in the chapter 2. This is around here, my new personal best, 1.15. And then this is my average in chapter 4. So in total, Haradrim stands for 4 million of my total score. So that is pretty good. That's around 20% as they should be doing. So they are pulling their weight in that matter. And then obviously I have other squads who will be scoring a higher percentage, but we are going to be looking at how I can increase this team and their potential. So, one way I can increase it is by doing their abilities. Of course, higher abilities means higher damage, means better overall. So, as you know, I talked about it in my previous video, I am considering building their abilities and I will be doing that. So let's look at how I can actually get more points. So someone reached out to me and showed me how he got a 1.5 in chapter 1. And what he did was he actually plugged in Neramiri instead of, let me just find who it was instead. It was instead of Yeftu. So Neramiri instead of Yeftu netted a 1.5. Now I want to make sure I can actually try this myself to see if can I get this done. So 1.5 for that. Then with some investment into some abilities, then let's go ahead and say in chapter 3 we go back up to 1.8. I think if everything fully leveled, maybe 1.8 to 2 mil is where I would end up. So we're just gonna leave it here for now because I feel it's better to go for a little bit average than go for min-max, and difficulty 5 is a little bit tricky. So we could also put that at 1.2. So we're actually gonna say 1.2, so that would put us at 3 million after 2 chapters. Then I have seen, and that is something I'm gonna be doing here today in this video, 1.5 from chapter 3. So how to do that? Again, that is swapping out, and I believe that was either Yef2 or Wubite. I think maybe it was Wubite actually. No, it was Yef2. Yef2 is obviously the one that's being swapped out due to just having high damage, so he's good for the single targets. So what is being swapped out for him in chapter 3? I talked about it. It's Charu, and as you can see, I've actually got her to level 60. I do what I preach, and just to actually drive the point home, then let me go ahead and find here. So based on what would be needed, always inflict poison. Fair enough. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna grant this. There we go. Just because I want to prove a point to say I do what I preach, and let's also make sure we do this. Now, chapter 3 will be for me probably on Tuesday to Wednesday, so I can probably get this ready. Let's actually go in and see what do we need. We need Jaspers, we have those. We need some threads there. We need nothing here. So that's 4, that's 8, 12, 14. So I need 10 more actually. No, I just need 4 more. Okay, no problem. I can get them in shop or I can go farm. I believe it's Mauher who offers them in chapter 1. No, it's not chapter 1. Yeah, it was actually chapter 2. But let me just double check. Yeah, it is, and I will have to farm him at some point eventually. So now my Charu is almost where she needs to be, and then she will just, of course, have the good glyphs on. to use for that, but that means I can plug and play there. So let's go back to the calculators. That's 1.5 there. And then I'm gonna look at what I can get out of them in chapter 4, because Haradrim doesn't excel in chapter 4, but there's a lot of plug and play. But just to say, if we do go ahead and buff Bekalu's abilities, etc., let's just on average go with a 500k run. So that's across the board 1 million score increased just in this chapter, just from this team. And as you can see here, I'm considering leaving Keely like this because, well, I do have this. I don't use that as much because here there's a higher crit chance. So if I wanted to remove stuff and not that many places like disable, yes, is good. So this one here could be leveled for really min-maxing. I guess on maybe Bulwark or again Cave Troll. So I'll probably do it, but I just wanted to do some other things because it's not that much at the moment that it will offer. I also need the 7-star, but what else we can go ahead and do to make sure this is a plug and play? Let me just make sure this. Neremiri. I know my Neremiri is atrocious and an affront to everyone because I only have her at gear level 5. So yeah, I could probably go ahead and say push these two abilities to gear to level 6 and push her to gear level 8, and that would free up, well, gear level would actually be around 6k health more, so that would really help across the board. And I do her with some plug and play, as you saw in my Gondor, other teams as well. So yeah, overall that should be really well. So that's something. Let's say Charu won't take long. Neremiri helping as well, and hopefully making my Gondor run a little bit cleaner at the moment, or, well, maybe plug and play with my, what's it called? My Rivendell. So maybe I can free up Bolin with some dwarfs for some cleansing there. Should be really interesting. So yeah, again, I try to do what I preach, and as you can see here, I have decided to put my Charu into my team for chapter 3 because it goes pretty okay there. Like Haradrim was actually pretty okay, and I think they can score it anyways, and we all know Dol Guldur is gonna be amazing, so I figured might as well put it on. Now, if we look at gold level, of course, as you can see, gold isn't that great, but I have the XP for different things. So when it comes to trying to min-max, like I can see a Charu doing this, and many people obviously can feel that Charu is gonna be amazing because there's a summon that helps in many different things. So for my goblins, level and abilities as well, because I have a lot of shadow crystals, nice, but abilities maybe on the back burner, so I can go ahead and finish other teams. I feel this is really interesting that Haradrim is plug and play. I know people do them with Dol Guldur if you have a really built up Dol Guldur, but that probably means you've spent money. Otherwise, you do some plug and play with Tibeb and Bekalu due to all the cleansing, haste, heal, etc. Flameform, Bekalu is actually pretty good for Flameform with her free attacks, so you can. Let's say you had Bekalu and Lomian on a team. Imagine you get a Flameform. Those two, Special 1 and Basic, that's 8 stacks gone already. And then everyone else doing some attacks. That's really quick you get out of a flame form, and then you can go back in and do damage. And Lomian with a might would actually do pretty okay damage there. So I'm really trying to think how can I theory craft and build my team, and I'm really looking forward to it because I'm actually really excited about pushing my score, and I believe Haradrim can easily eke out another million across the board from my different chapters. And again, this was a little bit average, so we say chapter 1 and chapter 2, and if we actually, instead of minus here, we could add 200k for a diff 5 perfect run. That would be 2 million. That would be 3.5. And that would actually be 5, and that would be 5.5. So Haradrim, not at the end of Q1, I think, but within 1 to 2 months should, with some plug and play, score between 5 and 6 million, hopefully closer to 6. So that should be pretty interesting. And just on an end note, because I do write it down, let's see what my Rivendell scored. 1.5, 1.3, 1.5, so that's 4.3, and then 1.21, so that's 5.5. So my Rivendell with their Ballin in chapter 3 and 4 are scoring 5.5, so a little bit better than Haradrim. So those two squads combined is like half my raid score, and considering I have 5 teams, I have some other teams that need to pick up the slack, but dwarves are coming along nicely, so should be really, really interesting. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about my plan with Haradrim? Have you considered all this plug and play viability they have? And yeah, what do you think about it? And I'll see you all in the next video.